Pregame.com.
Welcome back to Pregame.tv. Saturday college football action. Byan Leonard is going to give you a free pick on South Florida and Memphis. This is a big one here.
I don't care who's playing as long as I can win it.
Hey, that's exactly what I said last week. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll talk about that a little later.
Let's go. You said you were going to let's get it out of the way. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm the first guy to say I'm wrong. I was dead wrong. Auburn, Tennessee. Kudos to Byan. There goes lunch there. That'll set me back a little bit. Then I'm wrong on Jacksonville. Jacksonville gets their first win. Kudos here. Forget it. I'm set back. Nobody's getting Christmas presents this year. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. If they see this video, at least they'll know why. When you owe these two guys lunch, it's not a pretty picture.
If you're paying for our lunch, that's Christmas for us.
All right. Well, you're a sport.
Hey, you know what? It happened right in time for Thanksgiving. You know, I mean.
There you go. Like you said.
The buffet over at Caesar's Palace is really nice.
Yes, it is. I don't think we can do that.
I don't think he's allowed there anymore.
They know me by name, unfortunately.
Byan, you've got a team here. You know, Memphis is a team that I've covered a good bit this year, unfortunately, because I do not because I do a radio show in Memphis, but they want to cover this team every week, and sometimes it's torture. And they've played good defense this year at times, but right now they're starting to look like a team that's gotten wore down because the offense just has not given them any help at all. And you can't keep putting your defense on the field. You know, they start to break down. They finally got a win last week, but it was against a nobody. You know, to schedule a nobody this late in the season, out of conference, you know, they did well by themselves to get that win. What are you thinking or what are you looking at here with this one? You know, don't give us your best stuff. We'll save that for the end.
Yeah, Justin Fuente's done a really nice job here out of Memphis. We're so used to Memphis being a high-scoring team that plays no defense. This year, it's just the opposite. They play great defense. They can't score anything. This is a team I actually like. I think there's going to be value going forward next year. And for the program, I think it's a team on the rise. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, as the season goes on, you know, they don't have a lot of depth on this team. And as the season goes on, they start to get worn out a little bit. And I think that may be a concern here.
Yeah, the defense is fun to watch. I mean, they've shut down some good teams, some high-powered teams. Unfortunately, like Byan said, they just can't score enough. But the one thing with Memphis, you talk about Fuentes, I think he's an outstanding coach. He has his teams prepared each and every game. They had a couple setbacks, games they should have won that they ended up losing, and it's probably going to cost them being bowl eligible.
Yeah, they held Houston, who's a high-scoring, you know, college football team. They held them to 25 points, and Memphis turned it over 4 times in that game. So you give Houston 4 extra possessions, and you still hold them to 25 total points in low yardage compared to their season average. You're doing something pretty good. But again, you can't keep putting your team in a bad spot like that.
They did against SMU, I think, was a game that
they fell way behind. They did the same thing against Cincinnati, a game that I had Memphis that night. I thought it was a great spot for them. They were playing. I think it was a Wednesday night game. They were playing in standalone game, playing at home. They fell behind and they made a run late, and then it was too much. They couldn't overcome it. But you know what? This is your free pick, Byan. Let's make it official.
We're going to take a look at this wonderful matchup between Memphis and South Florida. And sometimes when you're looking at openers, some games just jump out at you. And Memphis opened as a 2.5-point road favorite in this game. And I said all week long, I said, I can't wait for this thing to get to 3. Can't wait for it to get to 3. I want to get that key number. Never gets to 3. I had to run out to the wind today and catch the 2.5. I'm playing the home dog. I'm playing South Florida. Memphis is a team 1-6 on the season against FBS competition. The lone win against Arkansas State. South Florida has not been a good team. They've lost badly on national TV early in the season. But this team's 2-5 against FBS competition, and they played a much tougher schedule. You go back over the teams that they have played. You know, they play Michigan State, Miami, Florida, Louisville, and Houston. Now, Memphis also played Louisville and Houston, but they did not play any teams comparative to the other 2 teams that South Florida's played. Much tougher schedule. We talked earlier about this team not having a lot of depth. I think it's wearing them down as the season goes on. And South Florida made a quarterback change a couple games ago, and they played much better. If you go over the entire year-to-date stats, I could see why Memphis would be a slight road favorite, a team who's only played 2 road games all season, by the way. But when you go back to the last 3 games, the much better stats are from South Florida. If you really dig into this game, South Florida should be the team that's favored. I took the 2.5. We'll never see that 3, but we'll take them on the money line. We like them. I'm going to pull a VR. I'm actually going to sprinkle on the home team. I think South Florida wins this game straight up.
All right, great stuff from Brian. He says to take South Florida. He's calling for the outright upset over Memphis. We're going to come right back. It's going to be the Byan Leonard Show. We're going to his pick, Stanford at USC. That's up next, pregame.tv.